Okay, Sour Squad, it's time to give a proper review on the Fortnite x Simpsons collab season, because there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this update, this collab. I think much of it comes from the fact that people were expecting a Chapter 3 rewind, because we had the remix season, which was the Chapter 2 map. Prior to that, we had the first reincarnation of the OG seasons, which led into the OG that we have now. And instead of following the trend of the past two mini seasons, Epic Games went all out with this Simpsons map. It's a brand new mini-sized map, less players, different kind of loot, and it's a huge shift from the way we were playing this game in Chapter 6, and it might signal some things for the future of this Battle Royale development. Comment your thoughts as we go along. What do you like? What do you hate? Have you gotten a win yet? I'm going to start with the pros, because I'm personally very positive on this collab. When it comes to the map, I actually think it's a major W. Springfield in all its glory is one of the most fun maps we've ever had, and though it is closer to a reload map than a traditional Battle Royale map in size, every single spot on it is iconic. It's very fun to traverse, very fun to fight in, very fun to drop on, and it even manages to bring back old iconic spots like Steamy Stacks repurposed for the nuclear power plant. One of the biggest flaws of modern Battle Royale is that the middle of the game is usually very dead. You could spend 5 to 10 minutes just moving around the map looking for people and never finding them. Well, this map completely eliminates that. It throws you right in the action, and even though it's smaller with less players, the action is much more frantic and the third parties are much more common. Another positive is how the match starts with a special intro. The battle bus has a little jingle on it. It immediately sets the tone as more silly, which makes it a lot more digestible. Something the modern Fortnite storyline misses is that silly edge that really made the old storyline so endearing. Though I do gotta give credit that they're doing more with the storyline in this season. Homer Simpson somehow got his hands on a Q remote and he's going around changing reality, and he could have an actual influence on the future of the Fortnite story. I also enjoy the simplicity of the loot pool. There are no scoped rifles, which for me, I don't think there should be scoped automatic rifles in a Battle Royale of this nature if you want to keep it arcadey and casual. There's a pretty good loot balance throughout. I don't feel like any weapon is particularly overpowered over the others, and the way they've done mythics this season is a huge bonus. Pretty much when you drop in the map, you don't know where the bosses are, because they'll spawn as the circles progressively close. And further, you won't even get an alert for the mythic boss unless you're within a couple hundred yards of them. So there's no real way to plan a loot path to get the OP items, which is one of the bigger flaws of the weaker Fortnite seasons. I also gotta mention, as a zero build player, I enjoy when there's a dynamic between bush and bunker, or bubble and bunker, so it's good that there's two different kind of cover or concealment items in the game. Whenever it's just bunker, the play gets very stale. You also have a bunch of funny heals like the steamed hams, the Duff Slurp, of course the three-eyed fish, which gives you 0 points, and even a weapon which applies balloons to the enemies, which can be used very tactically to get some really cheeky limbs. I haven't gotten my hands on that thing yet, but you know when I get some good plays, I'll upload them. Another huge win is that because there are less people in each lobby, there are also less bots in each lobby, and the queue times on average are longer in this mini season despite there being more players. But I honestly kind of prefer that, if it means we're going to have more lively games with more human interactions. Because ultimately that's what makes for great content, that human to human interaction in a PvP game, right? Oh my god, human versus human in a PvP game, who would have thought? However, wrapping back to the cons, the small map with less players but more actual people means there's going to be a lot more third parties. It's going to be harder to isolate your fights, and there's a lot of decision making involved in whether you should be taking fights at all during the middle of these matches. I find myself putting way more AR rounds down range, not really pursuing these finishes, just trying to drain people of resources. There's also very limited mobility on this map, really just the shockwaves. Though there are the heals that give you movement effects like that three-eyed fish or the Duff Slurp, they're actually not great heals on their own, and you have to waste 1 of your 5 precious slots on them. I'm sure they could have added balloons to the game, but you have the Krusty the Krab mythic right there. Maybe they could have added Grappler to the game, but of course you have that as a part of the loot pool in Reload. I sincerely hope that Epic Games has something else up their sleeve as a mid-season refresher, otherwise just Shockwaves is gonna get kinda stale. And unfortunately, the way they balance this loot pool means cars are incredibly meta. They're truly a necessary evil in this season. You gotta be grabbing cars, any car you find. If you're playing squad modes, get individual people to have their own cars, because that is going to give you a huge power advantage over the other teams. But it's also weird because there's no special cars in the game. Like, you don't have Burns' luxury mobile, you don't have Homer's supercar, you don't have Mr. Plow. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because those could be added later in the game, though if they were gonna be added, they probably should have been a launch feature like Homer's car. And we do have some confirmed upcoming items like Moe's super gun, so I have high hopes for the rest of the season, and even if it doesn't reach those peaks, it's only a month long, so it's easily forgivable. I know a lot of players are arguing right now whether Chapter 5 or Chapter 6 was the better season, but what I think Chapter 6 really showed us is that Charlie Wen is finally mastering his craft, how he wants Fortnite to be, the future of their vision, how Battle Royale and all these alternate Battle Royale modes are supposed to integrate with UEFN and the Fortnite multiverse. And I think the mini-season trend is a huge W, and this one might actually be the best because it's not just nostalgia bait, it's not just click farming some famous rappers. It's a legitimately brand new experience, really testing the waters of what these mini seasons are capable of. And again, the way it's influencing the map is really huge as well. I think it bodes well for the future of Chapter 7. I think they're really gonna bring Hope and Jonesy and the classic seasons together. At this point, all Epic Games needs to do is figure out those summer seasons, because those are undeniably the lowest points of every chapter. So overall, Simpsons season, I thought it'd be cheesy, and it is, but it's also very enjoyable, a huge W, my favorite of the 3 mini seasons, and I highly recommend you play it. Comment down below how you're feeling on this. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you have any positives or negatives you'd like to add to the list? Check out this video next to me where I get my first win on the Simpsons map, landing, of course, at Homer Simpson's house.